Hi, I'm Morgan, and today I'm going to do a video on how I do a braid crown on my hair. And the first thing that I do is basically I start off with a center part, so I part my hair down the center, and then I basically I brush it slash detangle it, and then I have to decide, okay, where on my head do I want the braids to start? So because I have some shorter sections at the front, I have chin length bangs, what I don't want to start the hair clear back at the back of my head, or else those are going to end up falling out. And if I want the hair falling out, then I would probably start them further back. But if I want the hair to actually stay tucked in, then I'm going to end up brushing. I want this to stay. It's pulling some of the hair in the back. Even then, I want to brush this towards an area that's towards much closer to the front. So probably on my head that would be right here right now. And then I figure out where I want to start the braid, and then I braid. So right here, I'm just braiding. I prefer to do you can do braids over or under, and then it has hair fails where it's okay, there's a giant hair, there's a strand that's clearly sticking out, so I need to readjust this to make it so that that's included. And sometimes it takes a lot of trial and error to figure out, okay, how exactly where I want the section to start. Sometimes hairs will fall off, sometimes it's I just choose to end up redoing it. And so there are going to be some hairs sticking out right here, and that's just because I have some shorter sections at the front. And then I don't think that's really a big deal because I can just have that part facing my head. And then what I basically have to do is just braid down towards the end. And because I have fairly my natural my hair's natural texture is quite straight, and so it does tend to be quite slippery. And so I would typically prefer to do a hairstyle like this on a day where my hair has been washed for a few days to give it a little bit more grip, but I did wash it yesterday, so it is unfortunately quite slippery. So this isn't necessarily the most, this hairstyle could be more stable and stuff than it is at present. And one thing that I do is when a hair section is getting quite thinner or shorter than the rest here, I'll just take something from the biggest section here and weave that in. And then it really depends on you if you want to use a hair tie at the end, what type that you prefer. Right now I like these little clear, I think they're poly bands. I like how they're what's the word? They're not a super obvious bright color, so depending on the style, they can be easier to hide. And I feel they don't slip very easily in my own hair, so I currently like using these at the ends. It really just depends on you what types, what your own personal preference is. I would choose something that isn't super bulky though. At least for this style. And then I have to figure out, okay, approximately where did I start this here, and that's a little bit further up on my head and my ear. And then I have to make sure, okay, do I get all of the loose hairs added in? And so I'm going around the back and feeling to see, okay, am I missing any? And if so, I drag them in. Okay, let's just start a little bit more. Yeah, sometimes it just takes some trial and error to figure out, okay, exactly where do I want this? Exactly where do I want the braid to start? And that's part of hairstyling. It's just oftentimes things, it's okay, I'll do this slightly different depending on how my hair is acting that day. Just going with what you have to work with. And then I will braid this part down to the end, and I just like to do the what's the word? I think it's the braid where I do underneath instead of on top. That's just what I like, or what I have a preference for. I don't think it really makes a huge difference. It's just whatever technique you prefer. Um, yeah, sorry, uh, I'm not more talkative. I'm not really sure what to add, but I do like to braid all the way to the ends, and so that way and because I feel like because my hair is straight, it tends to slip, and so having it braided towards the end, it gives it more texture, more something for like hairpins to hold on to. So I do prefer to braid all the way to the ends. Okay, and then I have to get another clear poly band. And then I just wrap it around however many times I like best. Really just depends on your hairband. And then I decide, okay, how do I want to arrange this? Because one thing that I sometimes do is like I'll wrap it around the back and then bring it up like this. But I'm like, nah, I'm not really feeling that way today. Today I'm feeling more like this style. But it does something to keep in mind is like the way you arrange it can sometimes like create like lumps and stuff. So it just depends what you think looks best on you, like what suits your personal preference and aesthetic that day. Okay, and I think I figured out, okay, I think I want this to lay approximately like this. So then I start pinning into it. And one thing that you can do, or like what I might do sometimes, is like stick like a temporary pin in a way that's like not blended into the hair as well, and then come back and remove that and put in a more better concealed pin after that. Because like I do prefer like to keep the pins somewhat concealed, and so I go with like typically pins that are more like a brownish color rather than like a black or a yellow, because my hair is naturally a brownish color. That's probably quite boring and visible if you if that's probably visible if you um are able to see and have the video like on. Uh, not everyone can, and that's okay. Uh, and then I'm gonna just drag, position the top braid, and then I drop a hairpin. So then I will take them and put them like this, and I do tend to do my hairpins where I'm just like using one hair to hold, and then using the other hand to do the pin and pin it in place. And sometimes I'll position one and it's like, okay, that's tugging, that doesn't feel very nice. So I'm gonna just take that pin out and put it in again. And it really is just a matter, I've done this enough times in my life that I just have a feel for, okay, how do I, does this have as much hold as I want it to have? Is this gonna fall out or not? Stuff like that. It's a matter of practice. And then once the actual, this part is all nice and secured, I have to decide, okay, how long and how thick are the sections that are left over, which would be this part and this part. And if they're not bulky enough that I feel like, oh, they would make a nice design on the back of the head. So what I'll end up doing is just tug, I think, I'm gonna have to remove a few pins, I think. But bringing it upwards, directing it upwards again, and just tucking that into the behind or underneath the existing braids. And then, yeah, so I'm gonna have to do a little bit of adjusting there because I want to conceal the hair tie. I want the ends to be fully underneath of the crown style, because I just feel like that looks a little bit nicer, and that sometimes requires just removing and re-adding pins until you get it to be how you want it to look. It's really, again, it's just a matter of okay, what do you like? Okay, and then I get to do this side now. And I'll probably add a pin down here to keep that in place, to keep that part in place while I redirect it upwards. And then you get to remove, I think, this pin here. And it's just this, sometimes it just takes as long as you feel it needs for it to look how you want it to look. This, I guess, well, I didn't realize that this took quite so long on me because I must have been like better at this when I was younger, because I remember it not taking quite so long to get it to look quite how I wanted it to look. Then I have to reposition. Okay, here, this is stable and sturdy. Okay. Adding one here, and then trying to decide, okay, on the top of this, does this look good to me? Does this look nice? Like, does this look like how I want it to go? And I'm not really caring about the back in this particular style because, like, I don't know, like it's probably quite plain down the back and it might not be lying perfectly flat, but with this, the focus on this particular hairstyle is mostly like the front, so I might wear this more so like if I had like some sort of hair accessory that I wanted to like hang down the back like a flower crown, like this might be a style that I would choose with that. Let me be right back. I'm going to get one. Okay, where are we? Okay. Like, I would probably wear, this would be a style that I would wear like one of these with probably. If I wanted some decoration in the back, like I might wear like this on it because it hangs over the top and like looks very, like, I feel like like fancy girly. And then it also adds some detail down the back. So I feel like if I wanted like to dress up the back of this hairstyle, that's what I would end up going with. Otherwise, this is what I think this should be what it looks like in the back. But yeah, this is how, like, this is just one way that I do a flower crown on my own hair, and I hope this like helps to show that like it is possible to do like braid crowns. It is possible to do like braid crowns on your own hair, and you can dress this up however you like. Like you could also add like if you had like flower, I think like pins that have like flowers on them or some sort of like decoration, you could like use those pins and have that detail visible to give it like an extra springy vibe to your hairstyle. But yeah, this is how I do a crown braid on my own hair, and I hope that this helps to show, like, gives people like the inspiration and like the confidence to try out a style like this on themselves. Like, I want to show you that it, like, in a lot of cases it can be done. Like, you can do this. So thank you and have a great day.